In this video, we're going to look at how hormones control your fuel metabolism. And for a multicellular organism, most cells won't just take up fuel without some kind of signal that directs them to do this. And your endocrine system is going to be the system responsible and responding to the needs of the organism to release these hormones to enable the different cells in your body to maintain your metabolic homeostasis. One important organ is your pancreas. Your pancreas will respond to the increase in your blood glucose levels by releasing insulin. And it's actually very cool how they do this, and mainly the cells responsible for this are your pancreatic beta cells, which are sensitive to glucose at a range of 5.5 to 6 millimolar, where normally your blood glucose is anywhere from 3.6 and 5.8. So, in your beta cells, the rate limiting step of glucose metabolism is the reaction of glucokinase to make G6P. And glucokinase is thought to be the beta cell's glucose sensor, as when it's turned on because there's high glucose, or when it's really running fast, it's because you have high blood glucose levels. Now, all the G6P you make in your pancreatic beta cells is going to be turned into pyruvate. Then that pyruvate will be converted to acetyl-CoA for oxidation in mitochondria. So we're not using G6P for other pathways here in your pancreatic beta cells. We're going to be using it for energy. And all the ATP that you make in the mitochondria through this will induce these ATP-gated potassium channels in the plasma membrane of your beta cells to close. Your membrane will depolarize because of this, which will cause your calcium channels to open in a similar manner that nerve impulses work. This calcium ion influx will trigger exocytosis of granules that contain insulin. So you get a lot of ATP, you close potassium channels. This causes calcium channels to open. This calcium causes vesicles to be released that contain insulin, and this insulin can go to the rest of your body. Now, insulin in different cells will promote glucose uptake in the muscles and the adipose tissue. This can also stimulate cell growth by increasing the synthesis of glycogen, proteins, and triacylglycerols. And muscles and adipose, they have a glucose transporter called GLUT4 that is turned on with insulin. If you don't have any insulin around, your muscle and your adipose tissue won't uptake glucose with GLUT4 because it will actually be sequestered away in intracellular vesicles called GLUT4 storage vesicles. Now, when you have insulin, that will promote the fusion of vesicles to your plasma membrane, and this is mediated by snare complexes. So, GLUT4 will then be on the cell surface after a few minutes of insulin stimulation, and they have a very low Km for glucose, which means they will rapidly uptake glucose, which is good because the only reason they're around is because insulin's been released, and the only reason why insulin was released was because your pancreatic beta cells were sensing a lot of glucose. Now, brain does not have this insulin, it has an insulin independent glucose transporter, which is good. Your brain needs glucose. Even if blood glucose levels are lower, you still want your brain to get glucose. So it needs a transporter that is not, it needs a transporter that is independent of insulin. Liver does not have GLUT4 as we talked about previously. Liver usually uses glucose for storage, and so it can take care of that with glucokinase. Now, insulin has a lot of effects on different organs in your body. It will inactivate phosphorylase kinase to decrease the rate of gluconeogenesis, because if insulin's around, we don't want to make glucose, but it will activate glycogen synthase because we have a lot of glucose around, so start storing it as glycogen. It will inhibit transcription of the genes that will make glucose. So your gluconeogenic genes, it will stop making those, such as phosphoenopyruvate carboxykinase, fructose 1,6-bisphosphatase, and glucose 6-phosphatase. So enzymes we talked about before in gluconeogenesis, insulin will go and shut off their production, while it will speed up production of genes that are responsible for the glycolytic enzymes, glucokinase and pyruvate kinase. And the expression of lipogenic enzymes such as acetyl-CoA carboxylate and fatty synthesis will also increase. So we have glucose, so get ready to make fatty acids for that, as we talked about in the fatty acid synthesis chapter. And as we've said before, the liver, once it doesn't have GLUT4, but it can be insulin can be a signal to start making glycogen inside the liver. So it's usually going to be used for storage. Now let's look at some other hormones. We have glucagon, which, if you remember, means glucose is gone. That will lead to glycogenolysis, which is taking your glycogen and creating glucose. So we can have glucose available to our other tissues. Now, muscles aren't directly affected by glucagon. They don't have any receptor for it, but they can benefit from it indirectly from the liver, or the glucose from liver, as we saw previously, can go directly to the muscle. And for your adipose tissue, we have a glucagon receptor there as well. And this will be lipolysis. We're going to take your triacylglycerols, cut them into fatty acids, and release them into the blood, because glucagon is saying that we are low in energy. Now your adrenal glands can release epinephrine and norepinephrine, and this will cause your calcium concentrations to increase. And we talked about previous chapters what this does, but basically in your muscles, we're going to start breaking down glycogen. In your adipose tissue, we're going to start breaking down your fatty acids. And in your liver, we're going to start breaking down your glycogen as well. Get that glucose ready for action. That's what epinephrine and norepinephrine do. They're your fight or flight hormones. Now, the way that these signals really work are through signaling pathways. And there are three major pathways. I don't need you to remember all the proteins in here. Rather, I want you to know basically why does a signaling pathway work. And a bunch of hormones, growth factors, and different molecules use these signaling pathways. And what they are is that a single external signal will combine with a combination of signals will lead to a cascade of reactions happening inside the cell. And this cascade can vary in magnitude based on the signals, and it can also vary in duration. So this is allowing one stimuli to turn on or turn off many different proteins with different magnitudes and different durations based on the signal received. And we saw some of this already when we were talking about creating or destroying glycogen. We looked at one of those signal pathways, but a lot of things in the body will work with these signal pathways. With that, that's the end of this video. I will see you in the next one.